Good afternoon, children. In our last class, we have done laboratory preparation of carbon dioxide, and today we are going to discuss the properties of carbon dioxide. So, the first physical properties and chemical properties we are going to discuss. So, let's see what is there in the physical properties. In physical properties, of carbon dioxide, we are going to discuss number one, its nature. Carbon dioxide is little bit acidic in nature. So it is it's a odorless, colorless, odorless gas, and it is slightly acidic. Okay, if we test with a litmus paper, if we test with a moist litmus paper, then if we hold the litmus paper, blue litmus paper in the carbon dioxide gas, then it will turn its the blue color will turn to pink. That means it's a proof that this gas is acidic in nature. But as this is a very weak acid, carbonic acid we are going to get when carbon dioxide is reacting with water, we are going to get H2CO3, which is a weak acid. So faint pink color we are going to get in this litmus paper. Next, number two is density. Density of carbon dioxide here, we can say carbon dioxide is 1.5 times heavier than air, and this is the reason why we collect carbon dioxide gas in by upward displacement of air. Okay, as it is heavier, 1.5 times heavier than air, that's why we can collect this gas in this manner by upward displacement of air. Next, solubility. Carbon dioxide is highly soluble in water, and if we increase the pressure, then the solubility will increase, and this is the reason why we get aerated drinks. Okay, in cold drinks and all, we generally the carbon dioxide gas is dissolved in high pressure. It is kept dissolved in the sweetened water. Okay, that is called soda water, or this aerated drinks or cold drinks we will say. And once you open the cap of the bottle, mouth of the bottle, the pressure will release and the gas will come with a brisk effervescence. Okay, so carbon dioxide, this gas is highly soluble in water. Okay, it is we can say not highly soluble, we can say it is fairly soluble. Okay, and if we increase the pressure, the solubility will increase. Next, we have liquefaction of carbon dioxide or solidification into dry ice. So solidification of carbon dioxide. First of all, we will be getting liquefaction of this gas under pressure, and if we decrease the temperature, it's about minus 78 degrees centigrade temperature. If we at this temperature, if we lower the temperature of the gas, then it will liquefy, and by applying pressure, we will get the solid form of carbon dioxide, that is called dry ice. Dry ice. It is just look like the ice, that's why the name, but it's not have any similarities with, it's not having any similarity with the ice. Okay, these two are completely different, only the appearance, the outer appearance is same, that's why we are calling it as dry ice. Okay, so this is there, it's having snow white color, and we know dry ice is sublimable. Okay, so directly from the gaseous state, it's going to the it's going to this solid form. Okay, and again, if we heat that, if we heat dry ice, or if we pour hot water in dry ice, then it will sublime, it will directly go to the gaseous directly form the gaseous carbon dioxide. Okay, and that will give us a snowy effect, we will say. Okay, foamy snowy effect, and that's why we can use dry ice in different in stage performances and all. You can see, to create the appearance, to create the ambience in that manner, in that sense, that a kind of foggy weather like this, to create that appearance, we can use this dry ice there. Okay, so this is there. Next, psychological action, we will say, if it's carbon dioxide, we will say it's non-poisonous. But if in an environment of excess carbon dioxide, if we keep a person for a long time, and if there are lack of oxygen there, then the person will not, he will fall sick. Okay, so this is suffocation. It will cause suffocation, and even he may die. Okay, if there will be no oxygen there. Okay, a lot of carbon dioxide in carbon dioxide's atmosphere, if we keep a person for a long time, he may die as well. So this is there. Next, now we will discuss the chemical properties of it. The chemical properties of carbon dioxide. So the physical properties which we have discussed, that is the nature, it is acidic in nature. Next, the density, carbon dioxide is 1.5 times heavier than air. So this is next, solubility, carbon dioxide is fairly soluble in water, and if we increase the temperature, if we increase the pressure, then the solubility increases. Next, liquefaction and solidification. If we decrease the temperature of carbon dioxide up to 78 degrees centigrade, then it will solidify and we will get the dry ice. Okay, which is again which can show sublimation. So these are the physical properties. Next, we are going to discuss the chemical properties of it. First of all, chemical properties. Combustibility. Combustibility of carbon dioxide, it's neither combustible and neither it supports the combustion. Okay, if we suppose in a gas jar where carbon dioxide is kept, and if we introduce a burning splinter, then it will extinguish. And this is the reason it's a non-supporter of combustion, and itself the gas will it will not help in burning, and itself it don't burn. Okay, so it's a neither it will combustible and nor it is supporter of combustion. Okay, that's why carbon dioxide we will use in fire extinguisher. Next, we can do this activity here. Okay, so suppose a gas jar we are taking a gas jar, two gas jars is right here. So we are taking one gas jar. Here oxygen is there, air is there, and here we are putting a candle. Candle is there, lighted candle is there. So this we are keeping in this gas jar, and now another gas jar we are having, same size. Okay. And here we are taking carbon dioxide in this gas jar. Now we will put the gas jar in this manner, so that the gas, as carbon dioxide is heavier than air, so air will, if we put it in this manner, then the air will be replaced by the carbon dioxide. This will come out, the air will come out as it is lighter in weight, and carbon dioxide will take its place. Now this gas jar, this we will say A. So gas jar A will be, now it is filled up with carbon dioxide, and you will see that the candle extinguishes. Okay, so this is the proof of the as carbon dioxide is a non-supporter of combustion. So from this experiment we can give a direct proof of that. Next, action on litmus paper. This already we told, as carbon dioxide is it is fairly acidic. Okay, it is acidic in nature. So if we introduce a moist litmus paper, a moist blue litmus paper in carbon dioxide, if you hold a moist litmus paper in this gas, then it will turn it to pink or red. Okay, as it is very slightly acidic, that's why, as carbon dioxide is slightly acidic, that's why the color will not a proper red color you are going to get, but the faint pink color or red color you are going to get. Next, reaction with water. This already we have discussed. Carbon dioxide plus water. What we are going to get? Carbonic acid, H2CO3. This is a weak acid. Okay, carbonic acid we will get. Next, reaction with alkalis. Okay, as carbon dioxide is acidic in nature, so with alkali, with bases, it will react. So sodium hydroxide, if we add here, it will produce sodium carbonate, okay, and water. Sodium carbonate we have to take. Okay, so this reaction we are going to get if we take potassium hydroxide, KOH, same reaction we have potassium carbonate, K2CO3 plus water. Okay, and this is the reason this alkalis, caustic soda, caustic waters, they can absorb carbon dioxide. That's why to remove carbon dioxide from a gas mixture, we can pass the gas mixture through this solution, through this alkalis, okay, caustic soda, caustic waters. So this reaction is helpful for removing carbon dioxide from any gas mixture. Now in this, if we add excess of carbon dioxide, which we will get for lime water also, this is sodium carbonate and potassium carbonate, these are insoluble. Okay, so if we add excess of carbon dioxide in this, then it will become soluble. Okay, soluble bicarbonate we are going to get. So what will be the reaction then? In this, if excess of carbon dioxide if we add, then we are going to get sodium bicarbonate in this case. Okay, 2 sodium bicarbonate we will get, and for this, with potassium carbonate, this is also excess. Potassium bicarbonate, KCO3. Okay, these are soluble. These two are soluble. Next, this reaction with lime water, this is a very important reaction for carbon dioxide, and in this manner we can detect, okay, during this detection of the gases and all, this reaction we treat as a confirmatory test for this. So what we are going to do here, we have to take lime water, that is calcium hydroxide. This is lime water. In this, we will pass carbon dioxide. Okay. So what we are going to get, this lime water will turn milky because of the formation of calcium carbonate, which is insoluble, and it will form a layer in the solution. Okay. So calcium bicarbonate, a kind of precipitation or layer of it we will get, which water will form. Now in this calcium carbonate plus H2O, here if we add again excess of carbon dioxide, if we add excess of bicarbonate. This is soluble. This is soluble in nature, so it will means the milkiness will disappear again. That means in the lime water is it's transparent, no color is there. So in this, if we introduce carbon dioxide gas, at first it will turn milky because of the insoluble calcium carbonate. Now in this solution again, if we add excess of carbon dioxide, then the milkiness will disappear because of the formation of soluble calcium bicarbonate. So at first calcium carbonate will produce, which is insoluble, and that's why it will turn the lime water milky. And afterwards, when we will pass excess of carbon dioxide in it, it will produce soluble calcium bicarbonate, which will again disappear. The milkiness will disappear because of the soluble calcium bicarbonate. Okay, next reaction with metal. This reaction we have done with magnesium. Okay, if in a gas filled with carbon dioxide, if we introduce a magnesium ribbon or burning magnesium ribbon, Mg plus CO2, this will produce MgO plus C. Okay, so MgO plus C. We can take 2 magnesium to get a balanced reaction. Okay, so this mixture of this is grey or black. Okay, the mixture of this is grey or black. So this we are going to get. Next again, a reaction with metallic oxides or basic oxides. What we are going to get, if metallic oxide or basic oxide, suppose sodium oxide, if we will introduce carbon dioxide there, this is basic in nature, this is acidic, so we are going to get a salt, that is sodium carbonate, Na2CO3. Okay, as this is basic in nature, this is basic in nature and this is acidic in nature, so we are going to get a salt here. The same reaction we are going to get for any basic oxide. Okay, with magnesium oxide, if we take magnesium oxide, then we will get magnesium carbonate, MgCO3. Okay. Reaction with non-metals. Non-metals means, suppose if we introduce oxygen here, okay, or no, if we introduce carbon, in presence of excess carbon, this will produce coke. This will produce carbon monoxide. Okay, so here when less oxygen is there and more carbon is there, then it will, instead of carbon dioxide, it will produce carbon monoxide, which is more harmful. Okay, next we have tests for carbon dioxide. One test we can give with the litmus. Litmus test can be given here. Okay, if we introduce a burning splinter in a gas jar filled with carbon dioxide, then it will extinguish. So this is also a test for carbon dioxide, as this is a non-supporter of combustion. Next, another test we can give, that is with lime water. Okay, at first the lime water will turn milky, and afterwards when we will introduce excess carbon dioxide, it will turn the milkiness will disappear. So this also can be given as a test for carbon dioxide. Uses, many uses of carbon dioxide is there in aerated drinks. That means in cold drinks, in soda water, we can use carbon dioxide. This is nothing but the sweetened water where carbon dioxide is kept, is dissolved, is soluble under pressure. Okay, so this is called soda water. So whenever we open the cap of this bottle, the excess pressure will release and carbon dioxide will come out as bubbles. Okay, that's why we get the bubbles in cold drinks bottles or in soda water. Next, refrigeration and preservation of food stuff. This also we can, here also we can use carbon dioxide in the form of dry ice, as the temperature of dry ice is very less, and this is just a kind of what say, kind of ice, we will say. Okay, so but the temperature is very less. Okay, it's a very less temperature. That's why it can be used for the refrigeration purpose, and we can preserve food stuff like meat or fish or vegetables in this manner. Okay, so dry ice can be used for in this purpose. In hospital we can use a mixture of, for the persons which are having breathing problem, for them we can use a mixture that is called carbogen. Okay, this is important. The mixture of carbon dioxide and oxygen. Here 95% oxygen will be there and 5% of carbon dioxide. This percentage is very important. So 95% of oxygen and 5% of carbon dioxide. This mixture is called carbogen. Okay, for it is used for artificial respiration. This mixture, this is used for artificial respiration. For artificial respiration in hospitals and all, we use this mixture. This is called carbogen. Okay, this percentage is important that you keep in mind. Many times you do just the opposite. That means 5% of oxygen you write and your 95% of carbon dioxide you write. That it's wrong. Okay, the maximum percentage will be of oxygen only and 5% is only carbon dioxide there. Acha. Next, in the manufacture of fertilizers, we use carbon dioxide for the manufacture of like urea. Okay, urea, to produce urea we need carbon dioxide. So there, to prepare this, the reaction between ammonia and carbon dioxide, we get this urea. So in manufacture of fertilizer we are using carbon dioxide. It's having use there. For the preparation of chemicals, different chemicals like sodium carbonate or sodium bicarbonate, potassium carbonate, these things, to making these chemicals we need carbon dioxide. Baking soda, washing soda is sodium carbonate and baking soda is sodium bicarbonate. So these two are very useful substances, useful chemicals, and for their preparation carbon dioxide is required. Okay, in baking industry this is very important. In baking industry we use baking soda. Why? Because when we use this, the carbon dioxide which is trapped there inside the food stuff and all, it will give it a fluffy and very soft texture, the cakes or pastries and biscuits and all. So that's why we use sodium bicarbonate, baking soda. Okay, when the carbon dioxide will be released from this, as the gases are trapped in the food stuff, that's why it will give it a very fluffy or spongy texture. Okay, that's why we use this in baking industry. Okay, in photosynthesis we know carbon dioxide is required. Without this we cannot get that food formed. Okay, in extinguishing a fire, this in detail we will not do. This is not there. The fire extinguisher and these things are there, so this we are not going to do. Only if just to extinguish a fire, we know as carbon dioxide is non-supporter of combustion. That's why carbon dioxide we use in the fire extinguishers. Okay, here we keep such a system where whenever required we will be producing carbon dioxide in a large amount, in a huge amount, and just kind of a foam it will come out and it will extinguish the fire. Okay, so in this manner we use this carbon dioxide in this for this purpose, to extinguish fire and all. Okay, so this was the uses of carbon dioxide cycle. This is not required. And next, greenhouse and effects of global warming and all this, this we are not going to do this. You are doing already, you have done already in geography also, I think you have done. So directly after this we will go for carbon monoxide. That will be but that will be in the next class. Okay, till then you just go through this, go through whichever things we have done, read these things properly and practice. Okay, take care. We will be meeting in our next class.